Welcome back to Fast Money. One small step for Wall Street, one giant leap for the crypto universe. The New York Stock Exchange's parent company, ICE, could be the latest financial heavyweight to jump in on the Bitcoin bandwagon. Let's get to Dom Chu in the newsroom for the details. Hey, Dom.
Well, Melissa, whether you buy into the viability of cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin or you think that they're rat poison squared like Warren Buffett does, Wall Street sees a potential profit opportunity and it keeps inching along towards the adoption of crypto. The latest is the Intercontinental Exchange, or ICE. This is the New York Stock Exchange parent company. Reports are it's in the process of trying to establish a trading platform for Bitcoin. And again, that's multiple reports citing sources familiar. Now, if it were to happen, it would be the latest big-name traditional Wall Street company to seemingly embrace the future of cryptocurrencies. The instruments being talked about are simple swap agreements. Now, the reason why this could be a big step is it would settle these swap contracts with actual physical Bitcoin, or I guess as physical as a cryptocurrency actually can be, meaning at settlement, you or somebody gets the Bitcoin itself. Now, that's different than the futures market on the CME and the CBOE, where trades are ultimately settled for cash. The ICE and NYSE have declined to comment on these stories, but this project, if it exists, is still under wraps, and it does come at a time when a lot of folks out there are wondering about the future of crypto. Melissa, it does come on the heels of Goldman Sachs unveiling its intention to open a crypto trading operation and hiring a head of digital asset trading. So could this be the latest step in the widespread adoption of cryptocurrencies? Perhaps we'll see. Back over to you guys.
All right. Thanks a lot, Dom Chu in the newsroom. Well, all of Wall Street's love for Bitcoin has BK more excited than he has ever been. That's what he says, at least. So he's at the plasma right now to break it all down and what it could ultimately mean for the cryptocurrency beaks.
Yeah, pretty much. I actually saw this news and was very, very excited. I'm actually a little shocked that the market didn't pick up on this. But you notice what Dom said at the end of that segment? He said that you're going to get physical delivery of Bitcoin. Well, that doesn't really sound that interesting, except for the fact it means the ICE has a custody solution. That has been the big hurdle. How do you hold on to these assets? Have are generally bearer instruments, just like old bearer bonds. And so you have to have a third-party custody person. So that's the big deal. They have come up with a custody solution for institutional holders. So it now means cryptocurrencies look to be becoming an emerging asset class, just like futures did, just like options were, and just like foreign currency were back in the 70s. So then again, that was part of my original thesis when I looked at this 5 years ago. That's how this was going to evolve. And then finally, what does this do? It opens the door for pensions and endowments. Up to this point, it's been very difficult for them to get comfortable compliance-wise in holding cryptocurrency. If ICE becomes a custodian or has a custodian solution that is SEC qualified, that fits with their compliance, that's going to open the floodgates. This is a big growing market, but it's still relatively small to the other markets. And just a small amount of capital flowing into this could have some big price moves. So let's take a look at Bitcoin, where we are in this. We looked at this last night. We're still in this uptrend here. Okay, 10,000, still a big number here. We had a little sell-off today. I think people just misunderstood this news. They didn't realize how big the custody issue is here. So I think on this news, we start rallying, particularly into blockchain next week, blockchain week here in New York next week. My guess would be that 10,000 is in our sights.
Do we know that ICE has a custody solution, or do we think, in other words, do we know that ICE is working on custody itself, or do we think that perhaps ICE has designated somebody who has a custody solution? Because right now, the custody solutions lie in a handful of very small operators out there, right?
Cold storage. Right, so
cold storage.
Right, the cold storage. And so what we use for my fund is we use Kingdom Trust out of Kentucky. They're an SEC qualified custodian, but they are a smaller custodian. Whether ICE actually builds the cold storage and has the custody herself, or they've outsourced it, to do it on the level that they're going to do it, that institutional level, means that the quality of that custody and cold storage is really above grade. So I'm less concerned whether or not they've built it in-house or they're third party. At the bottom line, that custody solution is here.
BK, when you talk about it becoming an asset class, I always believe in a zero-sum game. At what asset class expense is it coming out of for Bitcoin to become an asset class?
So it's a great question, Steve Grasso. A lot of different assets that this could take, but the most obvious one is gold, right? Bitcoin is still, and other cryptocurrencies are still acting as a digital gold, some kind of store of value. And we can argue about that, but that does seem to be the most obvious one. My view over time, we're going to get securities tokens. We're going to get, oil-backed tokens. We're going to get a lot of different things here, so it could steal from different areas. But today, most obvious, gold.